Hello everyone, my name is Aditya Sawant and today I'll be presenting a video demonstration of a project which I've had to take under a cloud computing course which is taught by Professor Mark Grechanik at the University of Illinois at Chicago. So let's get into it. So basically what this project deals with is a Spark program that performs a Monte Carlo simulation on a list of stocks. Now I am getting these lists of stocks from the S&P 500 list. So basically what my program would do is that pick any five stocks from that list and it would perform the required Monte Carlo analysis on that. And after the Monte Carlo simulation on that. And after the Monte Carlo simulation has been performed, based on the price points for each simulation, we will try to calculate the maximum profit which can be obtained. So I will switch to my Ubuntu screen now and where we will build the jar. Another thing about this project is that we will be deploying this on EMR. So yeah, let's get into it. So while the jar is building, I would also like to point out that I made use of the Alpha Vantage REST API to obtain the required information about the stocks and the records of their prices for each day. And basically what I'm doing with this data is that I'm calculating various metrics such as standard deviation and volatility, with which I am able to generate random values and form like a number of projections. And based on these projections, I try to calculate the maximum profit, and we get that as a result of this Spark job. So once this jar is built, we will upload this to AWS S3 and then we will run it on EMR. As you can see, the test cases have been passed and the jar should be available to us anytime now. Yep. As you can see, we have the jar ready over here. And we can verify it as well that it has just been created. Like 1256, 1257. So yeah, that's a new jar. So what we will be doing now is that we will upload this jar to our AWS S3 bucket. So now we will be going to the console. I think I won't need this tab. As you can see, this is the username and account number. So first let's go to S3. Now I've run this job before, so I will just delete all these folders and create a new one. Right, create folder, save. Now I will be uploading the jar into this folder. So I can go to add files, and this is the file which has been generated. Next, next. We're going to go with the standard. Alright, so we have the jar ready with us, which means we can go to EMR and we can start our Spark job. So what we will do is we will create a cluster. Let's name this Spark cluster. This will be the folder. We will select Spark 4.4 on this. We'll go with the default M5X large hardware instance, and we will just go ahead and create this cluster. Now what we're going to do is that we're going to add another step into this, and I'm going to select Spark application over here. Along with that, just for the demonstration, I will be picking this jar. I'll be pasting this over here so that when I change the deploy mode to client, like I don't get an option for selecting the file. So I will just paste this over here, and this is the parameter required for it, and this is the class which drives each simulation for each stock symbol. So the simulation is basically one job, and it is like given the stock symbol and the required output path. So that is how we run multiple Monte Carlo simulations for multiple stocks. So I'm going to name this path as output spark, and as you can see, action on failure, there's no terminate, so we're going to have to terminate it manually, and I'm going to add this job. As you can see, it's still in the pending mode. Go in the summary, you can see various details about it, and you can see that it has changed to bootstrapping mode now. So if we go over here, bootstrapping and provisioning, and monitoring also gives us a few insights, but since the job has just started, I guess we won't be able to see anything. So I'm just gonna have to pause the recording for a bit till this job runs, then we should be good to go. Hello again. So as you can see, there's been a change in the status, and I just wanted to point that out, and I guess I'll be pausing the video again. So I mean, let's take a look at the logs as well. So yeah, here you can see the data frame. So this is basically the timestamp, the closing stock price of the day, and this is basically the percent change. So that is how And like from this data frame, we get all the closing prices, calculate the standard deviation and volatility, and based on that we calculate these other values, like these predicted values. So basically this data frame holds a list in each of these rows, so I'm not sure if it's not visible. And this third data frame basically holds the maximum profit for each list. Like the first list over here, sorry, yeah, so for this list you would have this as the maximum profit. So again, I just wanted to reiterate over the formulation. So based on the closing prices, uh, we generate like various predictions and projections based on a random value, which can be calculated by using the standard deviation and the volatility. And then based on that, this list will hold all those projection points, and based on the values in those projection points, we find the maximum possible profit which can be made. And this is the same for the next stock, and it happens for the other stocks as well. So yeah, so as you can see, the job has been completed, and since there's no auto like terminate on the end of execution, we're gonna terminate this cluster ourselves, and we're going to go back to S3 to take a look at our output. So as you can see, we have these 5 new directories. So at the end you can see the various stock symbols like ADI, IVZ, MY, L, NCLH, SWK. So these are just 5 random stocks which were picked. And if we go inside, we can see the output. Like this again consists of the maximum possible profit for that particular projection, and this is done for each and every projection. So yes, basically the algorithm is a buy and sell problem. Like given a list of certain values, decide when should we buy and sell more. So that is how we get the result for each projection for that Monte Carlo simulation. So similarly, we can take a look at perhaps one more stock. I guess we'll go with NCLH. And yeah. So as you can see, like there's various points when like the stock also kind of dips. So there can be a difference in the maximum profit which is possible for that simulation, or rather that projection, not the simulation. So then it is like from beyond this point we can further study the entire Monte Carlo simulation and base our like formulation that they like this like to maintain a certain seal and floor value for profits. And yes, I guess that would be all for now, and thank you guys for watching.